My name is Ricardo. I'm from São Paulo. I'm from the countryside of São Paulo, a city named São Carlos. And I studied political science. I have a special interest in political participation. And I start working with this issue here in the city of São Paulo. And later I moved to Fortaleza, the northeast of Brazil. My commitment to that was really through public policy perspective. So I was, as I was part of local governments. First experience that I would like to talk about with you, it was actually developed in the city of São Paulo, and it was something called the children's participatory budget. So there was this experience to engage students in the discussion and in the decision about how the public budget should be invested. It was a very remarkable experience, especially because it was possible to see that not only the adults graduated, prepared, as people say, people are ready to talk about their city, to talk about their communities. That was at end in the year 2004. And at that time, there was this government in the city of Fortaleza. They just started their mandate, and they want to implement the same experience, not for children, but for general citizens in the city of Fortaleza. So they invited me to move to Fortaleza, and what happened there was an experience of a participatory budget. Well, my motivation was to believe that I could contribute with the transformation of the city, the sensation that my work could have a positive impact into the city social and political reality. At the beginning, I remember I feel that I was part of something big, of something important, of something very transformative. Definitely, that was my motivation to feel that I could contribute with the city idea. I had this sociology professor at the university. His name is Felix. He's still working with this issue nowadays. He introduced me to this discussion, talking about citizens' participation, talking about public policies. And 1 year later, he was invited to coordinate in the City Hall of São Paulo the implementation of this participatory budget experience. And at the time, he invited me with some other students to work with him. I think that maybe if I never met this guy, if I never went to his class, the university, if I choose to go to another class, maybe I would have found different interest. Yes, maybe. He was definitely a key person for me to get interested about it. There is a little bit of circumstance. Yes, if the circumstance was different, maybe, of course, my history would be different. But at the same time, there was something in my personal interests, my personal motivations, which made me at that time get very, very motivated to be part of that. Most important for me was that everyone is ready to take part in politics. I mean, everyone is something to offer, to contribute in terms of political participation. I say that especially because sometimes people think that you should be prepared to take part in a citizen participation process. You should be graduated or a specialist, and especially in Brazil, as is really an equal country. This difference on the educational level many times is used to get people away from decision making process. And even in when we were organizing this participatory budget, there are always someone to say that people is not ready. That first we should offer them a course about citizenship, and then a course about class, about public budget, and then another one for them to learn about municipal legislation. There's always someone to say that people is not ready, that that there is someone who is, but a lot who's not. I saw that that's not true. Everyone is ready. Everyone has something to contribute. It doesn't really matter if the result is going to be that relevant or that positive. Maybe you can be part of an experience, as I was part in Fortaleza, which at the end I think it failed. But it failed in a way. I mean, if well, I was talking about this maybe this in the institutional perspective, I think it failed. In a more general perspective, I think it failed. But at the same time, I'm sure that for people who were part of the experience, not only for me, for my personal experience, but for many others I talked to, I'm still in contact with. I'm sure this experience of being a part of collective perspective, a collective experience, it's worth. Things to worth don't really have to be successful. Mm-hmm. Yes, sometimes even something that doesn't go that well can be very important for our personal lives. Mm-hmm. Yes. Right now in São Paulo, I think that's something happening in terms of culture. I mean, I see, well, maybe in the 80s, the 90s, people who want to take part in some political participation experience would go for political parties, maybe syndicates, maybe community associations, the traditional tools for people to take part into politics. Right now in the city of São Paulo, I think there's something new happening, which is this, I don't know exactly how to name it in English, but it would be like cultural collectives. It's a lot of people with different wills, different desire. I mean, there's definitely a lot of collectives of women, a lot of collective of youth, black people, gays, as there's a lot of frustration. People are sick about politics. So most of them, they are not taking part in this group, this collective, for like politics. Mm-hmm. They're more about organizing a discussion about conditions of women in the city of São Paulo. Together to discuss about cinema, to discuss about the square in the neighborhood. They together to hold some music festival. I think there's a lot happening in terms of culture, not only in terms of art, as music, cinema. It's also about it, but it's more about getting people together to occupy the city in a collective way. So I think that's where something positive, interesting is happening. I think I would change the way that we are dealing with the natural resource, dealing with the local communities, dealing with the environment in general. And last year we did assessment, which the main goal was to visit all the local fishing communities that are established in the northeast coast of Brazil. We visited maybe 450 different communities. It was very interesting to see how people who are very close to nature deal with natural resource in a much more respectable, in a much more sustainable way. If we change a little bit of our listening, and if we start real listening to what this local community, indigenous people who are trying to make some different ways of dealing with the environment, I think we would learn a lot from them. So definitely that would be my main motivation to make some difference in this issue, if I could.